Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Rhett.
I'm Link. This week at the Round Table of Dim Lighting, we're gonna go to uncharted territory, unknown zones of, putting your phone in airport mode, that's right.
Well, I'm putting my phone in airplane mode.
Well, I like to just preemptively get it done before I start crossing the tarmac, man. So in the airport.
You gotta get that airport Wi-Fi. You know what?
I know you're right, but I can't not call it airport mode because for some reason I've always done that.
You know, one time I tweeted about the problem with airport Wi-Fi. Every airport has free Wi-Fi, but it never works.
Sometimes you gotta watch a video and.
Well, but I tweeted about that and then Ashton Kutcher, the Kutch man, tweeted back at me and was like, don't use airport Wi-Fi, incredibly insecure. Or incredibly unsecure. He wasn't like telling me that I'm insecure. He was saying that it was an unsecure network.
Ashton knows your insecurities.
And then he pointed me towards some app that like Cisco Systems, something he was probably involved in, which is some app that you use on your phone.
You're not secure in Ashton's advice for you?
No. I'm sure that any security expert.
You think he was, did I turn your volume up by accident?
No, it's just when you touch the volume, it made me think maybe I should adjust. You know, we see somebody adjust
I'm sorry
something.
guys, we're adjusting all types of things today.
We're gonna adjust what we want. It's like when you see somebody adjust like their shirt, and then you kind of naturally, well, maybe I need to adjust my shirt. I need to adjust my hair.
We also moved your phone out because we heard you.
Well, we heard one person.
We read one person complain about, I don't want the phone in there. So fine, it's not in here.
Yeah.
We just want you
give
to
us a freaking break.
Happy, but
I'm
you're
not
saying
questioning.
that Ashton was selling.
No, I'm not questioning that. I believe wholeheartedly that airport Wi-Fi is probably a bad idea, and anybody who knows anything about Wi-Fi security and that kind of thing would tell you don't get on a public Wi-Fi if you care about your information. But I'm just thinking that Ashton Kutcher is probably also personally involved in the product that he was pushing. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not talking about an insider trading situation.
Did you reply to Ashton Kutcher?
No, because I got to the tweet like 2 days late. I was like, whoa.
You were on a 2-day flight?
No, it just happened to see, like sometimes I go in and I click on who's replied to me and I click on verified to be like, what verified people are interested in me today for a self-image boost.
You need a little pick me up.
And I saw Ashton Kutcher. I was like, oh yeah, the guy, once you punched him in the stomach. Remember that?
Did I punch him in the stomach?
You poked him in the stomach with a pencil or something. I think we did a misleading thumbnail.
Right.
At some point about
our meeting with Ashton Kutcher. You can look that up that was on the Good Mythical Morning channel before Good Mythical Morning existed.
Mm-hmm.
One of our first one of our fledgling LA visits, we had a meeting with Ashton Kutcher, airport Wi-Fi security expert, because we wanted to make sure that we stayed secure in all of our flight endeavors.
But I believe
he's also an actor.
He's probably sincere. Okay, so this is a rabbit hole episode. We're gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, uncharted territory.
Yeah.
I need to put my phone in airport mode too, because I have not done it.
But
and going back to that
maybe
spot,
one of us needs to be available. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about the times we go into airplane mode when we recorded an Ear Biscuit, we go into airplane mode when we shoot GMM.
But there's always someone that like, if a loved one needs to reach us, I mean, it's easy to reach us through other people.
True that.
But you know, there's this thing that if you go to a concert or comedy show or some sort of venue, they've got that pocket now that you put your phone in.
They're taking people's phones.
And no, you keep your phone, but they give you a pocket to put it in.
Yeah.
And then they have the key, so you can't do distracting things during the show to ruin other people's experience, like be filming or be texting or talking. But the thing that I don't understand is, and you can go outside in order to use your phone, but I don't know how you know if somebody's trying to get in touch with you. And I don't think they can get in touch with you.
What if you made the bonehead move of like leaving an embarrassing ringtone turned all the way up, or there's an alarm that's gonna go off, and now it's in a bag? It's not a soundproof bag.
Well, I'm sure they've. I kind of want to go to a show just to experience this phone satchel.
I mean.
What's it called? Do you remember?
Phone satchel sounds good enough.
That's our version. We're partnering with Ashton.
I have many questions about phone satchel. Number one is what I just raised is what happens when something does happen to your phone.
When it's not silenced.
But the other thing is, there's no way that YouTube people, such as you and me, could get away with this. If we did a live event and we told people to put their phones in a phone satchel, there would be a rebellion. It would be a revolt. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Rock can do it, and I think he actually is one of the comedians who
that sounds right. Yeah.
Did it recently. Traditional people can do it, but if we were to tell people that they couldn't bring their phones, then it seems so anti-internet to do that, doesn't it?
Well, when we did the initial round of the tour of Mythicality, we did have this conversation, and we decided not to say anything. I mean, our only concern was that people would leak part of the show and that it might spoil other people's experience, but we actually didn't think about spoiling people's experience when we're there.
Well, but there's also there were people, I don't know who it was, somebody associated with the tour or that was handling it, that they were policing the content that people were uploading related to our show. So in other words, if somebody uploaded like a full song performance, it may be taken down. Oh. And people have mixed feelings about that. Maybe it may seem a little, too strict or whatever. But I think that the idea is that it's fine to show, to give people an idea of what you experienced there. But when you start releasing entire performances of songs or that kind of thing, at that point, you might be spoiling the surprise for people. So I don't know what, I actually saw some people tweet, hey, I did a vlog and I put this part of the tour Mythicality in my vlog and it got taken down.
Ooh.
It's kind of like, well, not really us doing that.
And I hope you put too much.
Yeah.
And that was a good reason to take it down, not just a little bit.
All that to say that we're not gonna tell you to put your phones in a satchel, but here, who knows, 3 years from now, we're telling you to put your phones in a satchel, and you're like, you remember that Ear Biscuit where you said you'd never do that? Well, then we'll just delete this Ear Biscuit. How about that?
Well, let's just say right now, you know what? We just have a feeling that we wouldn't do that, but we also have a feeling that we might. we're ambivalent on the subject.
Never say you'll never do something. Can't do that anymore.
You said that we would never do something.
What did I say? Oh, you might get me into trouble here.
Yeah.
What did I say I never do?
Something. And then we were thinking about doing it.
We'll never do full frontal nudity on Good Mythical Morning?
Yeah, that was it.
I never say never.
I
don't know, people say our standards are sliding year by year, so who knows, by the time we're 60, we'll be just two naked dudes. And you'll have to deal with it.
But it'll be below the desk. You won't see it, we'll just tell you that it's happening down there.
It'll just be the idea, just knowing that we're naked.
We'll just be free. I mean, one episode will be like, I've taken my shoes off. I just want you to know. My shoes are off. It's kind of like in the plane. Mm. When do you do that? Sometimes I'll take my shoes off.
Depends on the length of the flight, yeah.
If you wait too late, then you might have stink feet when you take your shoes off.
Really?
I usually don't have that, but there's other members of my family that definitely have that.
All the kids have stink feet. Oh yeah, my boys, man, their feet is horrible.
Yep,
I don't know what they do.
I was definitely only talking about my kids. And I'm like, put your shoes back on, boy.
But it is an interesting.
I can, even in the house, like if we're sitting down watching something, like we're into Planet Earth 2.
Oh yeah, if they take their shoes off inside, it's like, what is wrong? What is that
All of a
smell?
sudden, we're watching Planet Earth 2 and I'm smelling animal. And I'm like, dang it, who took their shoes off?
I always think it's, who brought in a new kind of cheese? You know?
And shoved it down in the couch.
I know you guys don't like strong cheeses. I do.
That's the only thing that can ruin Planet Earth 2, by the way.
It's a cheesy foot smell?
Yeah. And then you just cap it back up with a shoe or send that person out of the room.
But do you think that if we,
I want to talk about Planet Earth, by the way. So if you're talking about something else,
you'll come back to that because I just want to, because I'm still talking about the same thing that we were talking about a second ago.
Oh.
I haven't even moved on to Planet Earth yet.
Okay.
But do you think if we slowly introduced being completely naked
Oh, you were still on that.
Morning.
Oh, okay, you want to push that. So shoes, then you're like, one day I'm like, as you know, my shoes have been off in the past. Well, they've been off ever since then.
But I think we
my socks
we'd
are
have to
off.
go tank top. Like one of us would go tank top, then the other of us would go tank top, then the other one would do midriff, the other guy would do midriff.
No, I'm saying it comes from the bottom up. One day we're like, we look no different, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm just not wearing pants today, nor am I wearing shorts. It's not gonna impact your experience, or maybe it will. Oh, I
don't even know what just happened physically to your face.
I burped while I was talking.
But you didn't stop. You just kept talking, which I like. You burped through it. Let me see if I can do that. What was the word you were saying? What was the word that you were saying? Because I want to say the same word.
I'm sorry. I mean, that is not good podcaster form.
Do you know the word you were saying?
If a man has got to burp during his speak, it's bound to happen. I mean, this is more embarrassing than letting my wiener hang out on Good Mythical Morning.
No, it's not. I can't do it. I can't talk burp. And who wants to hear that anyway? Nobody.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
It wasn't clear that's what had happened.
I kind of figured. Planet Earth 2.
Oh no, don't want to talk about it now.
Oh, but you've been enjoying it.
Well, when you said full frontal nudity, I was just saying from the waist down, like newscaster nudity.
That's all that really matters though, isn't it? For men.
That's what I'm getting at. But then we just wouldn't stand up. We never go shirtless. We'd never be full nudity. It would just be lower half frontal.
I watched that, I told you I watched that Game Over Man, the Workaholics guys movies.
Yeah.
I don't typically choose to watch comedy movies, you know this, and the old adage is if you work in comedy, you watch drama. If you work in dramedy.
Is that an adage though?
I've heard it from many people. Like,
that makes me feel better.
I feel like
I don't watch
when I watch
movies.
comedies, I'm watching them like as a student.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, okay, here's a good comparison for us. You got these guys who went and made the show, and they're really funny together, and then they went off and they wrote a movie. And I think that they're all very funny individually and funny together. A fan of Workaholics.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna start watching this movie, and then I'm going because I'm waiting for my wife to come and join me to watch the Wild Wild Country documentary on Netflix. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Enjoying the heck out of that. And I was like, I'm gonna wait for her and watch this movie and I'll just get the little bit of it. But she was making a cake and she never stopped making the cake. It was like 1:30 a.m. I ended up watching the whole thing.
Oh, on earth.
And
how big is this cake?
Talk about full frontal nudity. Good gracious. I mean, there was so much penis in this movie. I mean, I was like, what? I didn't sign up for this.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to see Adam Devine's penis multiple times. And it was not a prosthetic. Now, when they cut Daniel Stern's penis off, that was a prosthetic.
What?
That happened in the movie, yes.
I'm not watching this movie.
Well,
not just because, I mean, but it's just indicative of the type, no pun intended, of the type of movie that has other things that I don't know if I want.
I just wasn't expecting.
Was it like just for shock value? Or was it?
I don't know. I didn't find those moments particularly funny. I'm not offended by seeing someone's penis. It's not what I'm saying. It's just, it was kind of unexpected and also like, really? Why?
Was it supposed to be sensual?
No.
It was supposed to be comedic.
It was supposed to be comedic. And I think there was one moment when I laughed during that scene. But there was just a lot. I mean, I think they could have just pulled back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They could have just pulled back a little bit.
Turtle could have gone in the shell a little bit. But that's all you're gonna say about it? So you are recommending it?
I am not recommending it. No, I'm not recommending it. Just the way it all came together is not the way that it all came together with Workaholics. That's all I can say. I still think the guys are very funny. I just think that I was a little distracted by the amount of penis, and in general, it just didn't gel in the way that their comedy has for me in the past.
No pun intended.
We're gonna get to a question, your question that will lead us down the inevitable rabbit hole. But first, we're going to let you know that you can get Link shirt at mythical.store.
You can get all types of stuff. We just want to invite you to go over there and browse. There are pictures of us wearing stuff, as well as some other Mythical crew members. And you know what? You too can wear the stuff if you purchase it. There's the Amazon store and there's Mythical.store, and there's just stuff to wear to rep your team. That's us. You're one of us now. How do we know? Because you're wearing the shirts, or drinking from the mugs, or styling your hair with the creams. The pomade.
Yeah, pomades. Rep your mythical self at mythical.store.
Yeah. Highly recommend Planet of the Earth 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna talk about it now, but it's I'm gonna open this envelope. Boy, it's sealed tight. This thing's been sealed up for a while.
Really, really licked it.
Okay, here we go. Don't know what's on this. We're gonna read it, and then it's just gonna lead us on a friendly conversation. I pulled the thing out and then I blew in the envelope just because I saw Letterman did that, but he would do it in order to get the thing out, but I already had the thing.
Letterman or Johnny Carson? Johnny Carson definitely blew as the amazing.
Yeah, you're
name?
right. You're right.
What was his name?
I can't remember the guy who told the jokes in reverse.
Ed McMahon laughed.
Chris Clay asks, I would be interested in hearing your bucket list. You are both very different people, so I wonder how they compare. Ooh, bucket list. Now, I'm just gonna jump in there and say that.
You gotta jump right in the bucket.
I've got like a couple of different apps that have lists and notes in them. Yeah. Like there's the Notes app, Evernote. We were both big into Evernote a few years ago.
I'm still pretty big into Evernote.
I still use Evernote for like my personal note taking. Just burped, but I stopped talking and I did it silently.
That's good, I like that. That's good technique.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I've thought about creating an Evernote, a personal Evernote, because I got the personal Evernote, I've got the creative Evernote, and then I've got the Rhett and Link creative shared Evernote. Yeah. Which we don't use that much anymore because of the Google Docs.
Yeah.
But the Link personal, I thought about putting one and calling it bucket list.
I already have one.
And started to create it.
I'm about to break it out.
I do not have one. I have one that's called Thoughts, which is kind of like the subreddit shower thoughts. Like I have those. They're just for me. Thoughts. But so I'm gonna have to come up with my bucket list. You have a bucket list.
It's not very long, but I think it'll be enough to get us started, and I think it'll give you some ideas.
And I do think every time that I've thought about a bucket list, I've immediately thought, well, it would be nice if my good buddy Rhett created a bucket list, and I could just like pull from it.
Yeah, well, that's what's about to happen.
Like if your bucket runneth over, I mean.
If your bucket runneth over.
I'll catch it. I mean, even when it comes to like vacation stuff, I tend to think about vacations a lot when it comes to bucket lists, like places I want to visit. Like you tend to think more about that, and I'm like, yep, good idea. I didn't have to waste my energy. I could just harness yours. I'm like a bucket list leech. I'm proud of it.
No, you're like a guy who gets in someone else's bucket list.
And then
if somebody already is carrying a bucket, just get in the bucket.
One day you're gonna go out and look in your bucket and you're gonna see it's empty because I like slurped everything out of it.
I do think that you're gonna be really into many of these things. And I gotta say that I pictured you being there for at least some of them.
And I will say, if you haven't listened to our classic Ear Biscuit on Rhett's layers, we go into, if I can recall correctly, a lot of detail in terms of that dynamic of what I just discussed.
And many of the things that are from my layers have translated into my bucket list. I also have a list called Things I Like, which you've been with me at different times where I've enjoyed something and then I'm like, I'm adding that to the Things I Like list.
And it brings you even more pleasure. It's like we're eating at this restaurant. It's like, gosh, this is so good. And then it's like your face lights up, you pull out your phone, you're like, I'm gonna put that in my favorite things list.
Things I like.
Things I like list.
Yeah. Cause then I'm in New York. What do I like here? Oh, let's look at the things I like.
Now I will tell you, if I pulled out a list, I could beat any list you've got with my packing for the RV trip list. So
that would be really exciting.
I'm not
going to
feel inferior just because I'm really hedging that I'm gonna leech off of your list, because if I've thought about publishing my packing for an RV survival kit list.
I'm sure there'd be an interested audience. Pretty small, but somebody's interested.
Very interested though.
Very motivated. Okay.
You gonna do these one at a time?
Yeah.
I mean, we got time.
Yeah, number one, and these are in no particular order, they're just in the order that I added them. Fly an ultralight trike.
Fly an ultralight trike. Is this the most recent one or the first one when you created the bucket list?
B.
So when you finally broke the seal on creating a bucket list, this was the idea that did it. Like, what prompted this? Were you like, did you see an ultralight trike in the air?
I think I probably saw a video or a movie or something where there was one flying, and I was like, man, you really let that dream fly away. No pun intended.
Because this is it. So this, can you tell when this list started? Like, I mean, was it in the last 6 months or was it, the first time you talked about an ultralight trike was the year 2002.
Oh yeah, this bucket list was created on July 28th, 2014 at 10:34 p.m.
Right, so 12 years earlier.
Most recently added January 14th, 2017? What? This hasn't been that long, has it? Yeah, I think it's been over a year since I updated this. I gotta get on this bucket list.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was probably enjoying something.
And you were reminded of your mental bucket list and how you really wanted to do an ultralight trike.
And I was just thinking about the fact that I got so into it, I actually had the trip, you know, the inaugural flight scheduled. And
I was gonna go with you.
You were gonna go with me, and then it got shut down.
It was at the Anger airstrip. We were gonna meet the guy.
No, it was in Dunn. It was right outside of Dunn.
Had to go all the way to the crack capital of North Carolina.
The world, I think.
That's what they said, yeah, because of the 95 corridor.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. An ultralight trike is a 3-wheeled lawn chair underneath
selling a little short.
A fixed wing made out of what appears to be Ziploc bags with a lawnmower motor strapped to the back of the lawn chair. That's basically, you could probably find one on Etsy.
That wasn't a very generous description of what I'm picturing. But yeah, pretty much. It's basically a hang glider that has a place to sit underneath it and has a motor.
So it's motorized, that's not a glider.
Because I also underneath this, I would include those powered parachutes where the dudes have basically a backpack that has a fan, and then they're basically in a parachute that's a wing. There's multiple dudes on YouTube. There's one guy on YouTube who, I wish I could plug him because I've enjoyed his videos, who has one of these powered parachutes. And he takes a camera up and he'll be like, today I'm gonna fly, look this up, Jacob, because I think I'm gonna fly to the McDonald's. I'm gonna fly to McDonald's from my house. He like lives in the Midwest or something, so he's out in kind of the country.
So what's he gonna search?
Just powered parachute, fly to McDonald's, and then he's got a bunch of videos, and he'll just like fly to McDonald's, and he's like doing commentary the whole time.
Oh wow.
And then he lands at McDonald's, he like gets a burger, and then
it's like a let's play of a flight simulator.
What's that?
Tucker Gott.
Yes. Yeah. Tucker Gott?
Yeah, G-O-T-T.
Yeah. Tucker Gott.
With two T's, G-O-T-T.
He's got one of these things, and it just seems.
Got one.
It just seems.
Tucker got an ultralight.
It seems so fun. Whenever I bring
this. Well, that's not an ultralight.
That is it. I mean, that's ultralight. I mean, look at how fun that looks.
It's just a dude in shorts. And he looks. I mean, there's a shot that's back at him, and it. So I mean, you might think he's on a fan boat in the Everglades until you realize that he's parachuting. And when you come in,
look at that freaking! It's a crazy. It blows my mind.
When you come in for a landing, it's like you can come in for a landing really hard if you don't watch out.
But so you know the ride Soarin' at is that at Disneyland?
Yeah,
Soarin'?
California Adventure.
California Adventure?
Yeah. Where you smell the oranges.
Yeah, well it's one of my favorite. It is my favorite ride at Disneyland because of this, because the idea of flight, of personally controlled wind in your face flight is one of my dreams. And I let the dream die. And one of the reasons is because my wife is worried about me dying.
Well, this is what I was gonna say because
she doesn't want me to die. Why does she have to care?
You had talked me into basically signing up to go on like a just a tandem ride with with a guy.
Yeah.
On a fixed wing ultralight.
But are you into this idea?
But well, here's the thing.
It's like being a bird.
I'm shocked that it's on your list now. I do not believe you would do it.
What?
I do not believe you would do that powered parachute thing. It's way too dangerous, dude. You have too much life to live for. You wouldn't do it. Just think about it for a second.
Well, I
like let's either make a commitment right now to do it or just realize that you're not gonna do it.
But I might do the other one, the one that's just the trike.
So you're not gonna do the parachute. That's crazy.
I think it may be safer, ultimately. I think it may be safer. You're already parachuting. What can go wrong? I know you can get like caught up into the wing and hit the ground in a bundle of fabric.
My instincts tell me that it's an easy way to end your life by accident, man.
Well, it's on the bucket list, and it's on the bucket list as fly an ultralight trike, and that could be flying while someone else is in control too. The idea of being in the air exposed to the elements, the fact that it's possible that we live in a time where it is possible to fly like a bird, that is an option for all humans. It just seems like you have to do it once.
So you would do that. You would ride, you would do what we were gonna do all those years ago. It hasn't changed.
Oh, I would definitely do it, but my wife, I don't know if I've ever told this story, but my wife was in a small aircraft plane crash.
Like a Cessna?
When she was a baby, so she doesn't remember. But her dad's dad was shot at some point, shot in Detroit when she was a baby. And so they needed to get up there very, very quickly. And so they took a small plane to Detroit, like immediately, like let's get in the plane and let's go. Like, I don't know what the hookup was.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the way back, they lost power and ended up basically crash landing, like hit a power line and then like crash landed, and nobody was hurt, they were shaken up. And so
wow,
the idea around like small aircraft and the danger that comes with small aircraft is something that's just like in her genes. It's part of her family heritage.
I know,
and so she doesn't want me to do anything like this.
But that's akin to like going on a helicopter tour like we've both done, and I did recently, but I don't know, it's just this seems so more rickety, man. It's like, would you go on an unpowered glider, like jump off the side of a mountain tandem with someone who's well qualified on a glider? I don't think I would do that.
I don't think I would do that, but I do what it has a motor.
I don't think it's that much different. You're on a slippery slope and it's a long fall.
Okay, well let me take you to another idea.
But it did inspire something that's going on my bucket list, which I have said, which is I want to ride a horse at a gallop. I want to do no loser Palm Springs situation. I want to ride a horse at a gallop.
That seems like a pretty easy one to get to.
Great.
I mean, like
there's nothing like checking off something off your bucket list.
I mean, that could probably be arranged in the next 5 minutes. Like we could be down at the Burbank Equestrian Center and be like, this man wants to gallop. And they'll be like, is he dying? No, this has been on his bucket list.
If a bucket
for
list
a long time
is attainable, why is that a point of criticality for the said bucket list?
No, I'm just saying it's almost like, you know what's on my bucket list? Eating a triple Whopper. The kind of thing that can be arranged really easily.
Is that on there?
No, it's not. Most things that are on my bucket list are things that there's gotta be the logistics are difficult.
What if it's a quintuple Whopper? There should be some food related thing.
Usually it's difficult to talk them into that. it's difficult. It was difficult to talk him into that quadruple whopper that we had that one time on the show.
I think this is a series. I think Rhett and Link's Twisted Yet Attainable Bucket List is the bucket list we should be coming up with. And
Might
it should
need
have
a catchier name.
It should have ride a horse at a gallop, eat a quintuple whopper. Like that's
You know what a good name for that would be?
what?
Instead of bucket list, starts with an F. Like that would be like a good web series name, but we wouldn't do that. We don't do that kind of thing.
No, it would
For like
be
really easy to attain bucket list items.
Yeah, it's just like you're sitting on the couch with nothing to do. Somebody mentions something, you're like, F it. Let's do it.
The F it list.
Let's do it, because when you F something, it's like, F it. I'll do it right now.
Yeah, right.
It's
exactly.
Kinda,
I'll ride a horse at a gallop right now. Things that can be arranged on the day and we just do them. That's a great idea.
I came up with it.
I told you it was a great idea.
Well, thank you.
Here's another one. Sail to
Gotta come up with a better name for it though.
Sail to an island. I'm gonna group this together with Sail French Polynesia.
And but by the way, because you plugged Tucker Gott's Ultra Parachute channel, I fully expect him to fly to us now.
I think that's the dangerous.
He specifically is gonna invite you to go on a trip to McDonald's to get a quintuple Big Mac. And then you're gonna be turning a guy down. I mean, you gotta, before you put these things on your list, you gotta think about it.
Well, I'm about to shout somebody else out.
Do it.
Sail to an island. Now, you know, if you listen to that original podcast, that another one of my like deeply held convictions is that I have to sail boats at some point. I actually, like, at one point I looked up like
You're into risky transportation.
My heritage and like the McLaughlins, and they were like people of the sea, you know, and it's just like, it's in me to be on the water. Now, I've been in a sailboat twice. One time it was at Sharon Harris Lake, you know.
Nothing like that nuclear cruise.
It was a nuclear lake, and there was no wind. I took a sailing class on a fake lake in North Carolina on a day where there was like a 1 mile per hour northeast breeze. So I didn't learn anything. The guy taught me some things, but there was no sailing that took place.
You learned some terminology.
And then we rented a sailboat in the Santa Monica Bay, not operated by me, you know. It was like a man who was operating it, and the family went out there, and it was like we paid for like 1 hour of sailing around the bay, and we brought some cheese and crackers, and the kids were like, "Dad, go get the cheese and crackers," and me went down below, and like immediately when I got down below, it was like the whole world turned upside down, and I was like, cheese and crackers, I wanna vomit cheese and crackers all over you folks. And I was able to somehow make it back out with the cheese and crackers, and I just laid there trying not to vomit the entire time.
The rest of the time?
If the McLaughlins could only see me now. Now, you know, when I talk about my ancestors, I say McLaughlin, even though I'm a McLaughlin, we've lost a little bit of the heritage. So I haven't done much by way of getting ready for this, but I have a book. I have a book that is this couple that sailed around the entire world and took these amazing pictures as they went around. And they like stopped at all these little islands. I love islands. And the idea of just being able to sail up to an island. And there's a book called Sailing Alone Around the World, which my wife says, this is the epitome of what you're into. She couldn't believe that this is the kind of thing I was into. It's a book about a dude sailing alone around the world.
You like bring this into your house, kind of like thumbing your nose at your family.
But I read that whole book. That's like 100 years old, and it's just a crazy tale of adventure. But this is like a couple that did it in like the 80s or 90s, and they have all these pictures. It's incredible.
I'm sure the pictures are better than the experience.
And there's these YouTube channels of people who've sold everything and just have boats, and they sail, and that's their YouTube channel. There's this, again, I don't know, it's this Australian couple. They're both like really good looking Australians sailing around the world. YouTube channel. Look that up, Jacob. I don't know what it is. Australian couple YouTube sailors. And that, again, I don't know anybody's name, but they make it look so fun, man.
They do, don't they? You know.
You wanna sail on an island and make a YouTube series about it? Sail to an island?
What? I'd like to introduce you to a land yacht called the RV.
Oh gosh.
These people?
Yes. What are they
Sailing
called?
La
Vagabond?
Vagabond.
Sailing La Vagabond. How recent is the most recent video? They still doing it?
What's the date
1
on
day
it?
ago.
1 day ago, they're still doing it. That's the thing I love about that. They started a couple of years ago, and it's the kind of thing that you think people are just gonna give up on. They're still freaking doing it. They're sailing, man. They're living their life. They're freaking living a bucket list. You gotta admire that. What about the RV?
I think that the sailing thing, that's quite, I think your bucket list needs to involve things that don't take more than a day.
Well,
'Cause
that's the F it list, man.
No, I'm
That's
just
different.
saying, like, you're not gonna wanna sail forever around the world. I mean, you're not. You want to sail a little bit and you wanna have some pictures. And,
That's what a bucket list is. It's a list and you do it and you check it off. I'm not saying
well, how long are you gonna be there?
It doesn't
Sail
say.
to an island.
Sail
is
to
what
an
it-
island or sail French Polynesia.
Okay.
It's just, you just do it and then you're like, I
just wanted
did
to
it,
make
man.
sure you weren't gonna sail around everywhere.
Look at these. Oh, and you know what?
they got a drone.
They had a company give them that catamaran, that big sailboat, because they went out and they did their stuff, and then somebody said, hey, we're gonna give you an awesome boat. You gotta be really good looking though.
Now you're gonna buy that, you wanna buy that boat.
So,
Man.
would you do this with me? We just sail to an island.
For 5 to 6 days, yes.
We're not gonna get to any cool islands in 5 to 6 days. I think we gotta commit 2 months of our lives to this. I wanna sail to an island where there's nobody there. We sail to the island, we document the whole thing, we live off of the land.
Are our wives there? Cause you know they're not there.
No, this is like after the kids have left,
Well,
they're in college, and the
kids-
wives,
The kids aren't the wives.
no, yeah, but see, if we leave now, what we have to do is when the kids are in college,
that would be irresponsible.
and then the wives, they've got their own thing, they're doing their own thing, they're sailing around the world, whatever it is.
You're giving them a boat and we've got a boat.
Yeah, they have a
They'll
boat,
love that.
and at some point they're gonna get tired of us and they're not gonna want us to be around.
Which is kind of my point with us on the sailboat.
Psh, really? Okay, well we take a mediator.
We would need.
We take Morgan. We've already established who we're gonna take.
Right.
Okay, we'll take Morgan.
Oh gosh.
All right, I got more specifics.
Keep
This
going.
one you're really going to be into. Surf, Chicama, Peru. I don't know if it's Chicama, I don't know how you say it. It's Chicama, Peru. It's the longest wave in the world. I showed you a YouTube video of this. Jicama? That probably might be right. It is the longest wave in the world. It's this super mellow wave that, a couple of dads on paddleboards could kill. And you go down there and there's nothing down there. It's totally remote. And then there's, again, YouTube videos of these dudes surfing this wave.
They're just like lounging.
I mean, you can like surf the wave. Jicama?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how it got changed to CH in my Evernote,
Jicama.
but it looks absolutely insane. And
There's like drone footage of this, like trucking along like a little train beside
bring some of that up,
a
Jacob.
person going on a wave.
Longest wave in the world, Peru. And it's just, I saw that and I was like, put it on the bucket list, man. Do it. Do it now. Put it on the bucket list.
This is you talking to you, or
This
do
is
you,
the inner
you have a
thoughts
bucket list
of Rhett
secretary?
McLaughlin. And I mean, look at this link.
That's a big looking
No,
wave.
well, when I saw it, it was small. There's a video of dudes just, you know how like dudes, in fact, we should put this,
You're
we should
adding
put this
something
on the list.
to the bucket list right now?
Surf, you know what we need to do? Surf behind a oil tanker in the Gulf
In
of
the
Mexico.
Gulf,
Have you seen these videos?
they create a wave that then you can surf.
Surf oil tanker, Gulf of Mexico.
Now that you only have one chance at. The longest wave in Peru, I bet if you bail, there's another one. There's another set and you can pick up where you left off and keep surfing.
There's always another tanker.
But then you're waiting for the tanker and you're behind one tanker, you're in front of the, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
I'm your conscience.
No. What you should be is you should be an enabler and a supporter. When somebody's is just chock full of ideas.
You have to win me over, you know this. if you can address the
You're
safety,
the one who,
economical, and
I'm the
familial
one,
concerns,
I'm the one who saw,
then I'll get in there.
who saw the magazine cover of the people on the SUPs and then
You
said,
did, yeah.
we gotta get that. And then we got it.
So the longest is Chicama. The
Oh.
other one is the largest.
Oh, so Chicama, not Hickama. Hickama's too big. We're dads. We
Too
don't,
big.
I don't want to die.
We're going to Chicama.
You go to Chicama and you just keep surfing and surfing and surfing. Or we just go to Texas, which is closer, get an oil tanker. But I'm the
Get
one who found the thing.
commandeer an
and
oil
you
tanker.
absolutely love it. And you're the one who's like, in fact, we should do it. We should do it this week. It's time to go back, Jack. We gotta go back to our spot. But
I'll put on my bucket list, commandeer and pilot an oil tanker. Like that's how I'm gonna be an enabler. I wanna steer an oil tanker.
I don't think that's the fun part though.
I wonder what it would feel like, you're turning and nothing's happening. Like, it's like, what they say. It's like turning around a battleship. It's not easy.
Right. It's difficult to make a decision when all the momentum is going in one direction.
It's like my Nana trying to do a 3-point turn.
Have you seen her do that?
It's like an 18-point turn.
Yeah.
Right. She's
But-
got nowhere to be
Just
at any particular
picture
time.
this though. Gulf of Mexico, 78 degrees. I'm in a blue bathing suit. You're in a green bathing suit.
Can I like the blue.
You got a blue bathing suit. I got a green bathing suit.
Yeah.
We've got 2 surfboards. We're paddling along. Oh, here comes the oil tanker. You catch the wave, I catch the wave. We look at each other, make eye contact. Picture this moment for 1 second.
Yeah.
You're in a blue bathing suit.
I get yeah.
I'm in a green bathing suit.
You got me.
I'm on a red paddleboard. You're on, what color is your board?
Cream.
Cream, off-white
Yeah.
board. You look at me, now I'm on a red board, I got green shorts on, you're like, Merry Christmas to us. Because it doesn't even have to be Christmas, it could be July. I'm just in a Christmas theme color, and you're like, this is the coolest thing we've ever done.
And
Imagine
I'm like,
making-
Merry Christmas to us. You're like, what? I'm like, Merry Christmas to us. You're like, what? I can't hear you over the oil tanker. I'm like, Merry, we talked about this. Christmas, and then I fall off.
No,
and you lean forward and you fall off.
No, you're
We're
making it,
you gotta wait for
you're
the next
ruining
tanker.
it. Think about us making eye contact. It'd be like that time I was kissing Amber and you were kissing Anna and we made eye contact. And we were like, this is the best thing that can happen. You know what I'm saying? This is the best. Was that not the best thing we had ever experienced? For me it was. Not looking at you while kissing a woman. I'm just saying that kissing.
You couldn't have made it more weird.
Kissing Amber in the way that I was kissing her at Betsy's house. Was that
Betsy,
her?
yeah.
Betsy's house. Betsy P. Kissing her was the peak of my existence up to that point, right? I mean, I was like, this is what life is about.
We were both having peak moments and we were peeking at each other.
And then we looked at each other and I was like, there's my boy, he's doing it too. You know, we don't experience that enough anymore. I want more Amber and Anna moments in our lives. That's the freaking Gulf of Mexico, eye contact.
Oh, I'm with you, I'll do it. I mean, I'm just saying like the dolphin moment from a few months back while surfing, that was a good moment.
But you can't engineer that. That
makes it even better.
That was serendipitous and it was beautiful. But you weren't right next to me when it happened. The dolphin was. Right. I'm talking, we can engineer these situations where we can both be on ultralight trikes and then we could like look at each other, make eye contact, and we need a symbol or like a extra big thumbs up or something. It means something like when it's like ting. In fact, that's part of the series. When achievement is unlocked, there's like a symbol and a sound that we put in post when we unlock something. I'd watch that.
I don't think it. The thumbs up. I think we're gonna feel a little self-conscious in the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just
giving each other a tandem thumbs up. I think we're not gonna feel that at the time, and I think that's gonna ruin it.
Maybe we carry a bucket.
Oh.
Maybe we get bucket tattoos.
And we show them.
You show them to each other.
Yeah, at that moment.
And then a wink.
Oh, what's that?
That's a zit, man. You got to put a bucket tattoo over that thing.
It's on my deltoid.
Here's another one you'll be really into. SUP next to icebergs.
Oh!
Man, they just keep coming, don't they?
Talk about, it sounds cold.
Yeah, you wear.
Again, I'm being negative.
You wear a very thick
you gotta
dry
sell
suit.
me, man.
You wear.
I would.
All
do
you
this.
have to do is Google, and then you'll be like, "Yep, got to do that. That looks incredible." I'll move out of water sports. Stay at a castle.
Stay at a castle.
Spend the night at a castle.
Are they updated inside?
You mean you want like HVAC?
Definitely. I mean, I'm thinking more plumbing. When I went to that, when we were in Amsterdam a little over a year ago, I went to that castle, Muir Castle, I think it was, and it was cool. You could walk around on the second floor, and it wasn't a lot to it up there. It was just a fortress, to send people attacking people away. But when you would take a crap, it would run down a hole into the moat on the outside of the castle.
Right.
And that would create a lot of disease. And it would be a deterrent for people trying to emote into the castle, but I have to assume that they've been retrofitted inside. Now, or maybe a one-night camping situation, that would be pretty cool too. I'll do that.
Okay.
I don't feel like I wouldn't die. It's different than the ultralight thing.
Yeah. Here's my thing.
I could die on the horse though.
When we went to Amsterdam, and you went to the two castles.
Yeah. We split up. We were with our wives.
I went to the one castle.
It was more romantic.
When you talk about the moat, are you talking about the castle that I went to I took the tour of, or are you talking about the bigger one that's more updated?
The older one that didn't have that much to it. Maybe
Right.
that wasn't
That's
Muir.
the one that I took a picture of. Shout out to Rhett MC on Instagram. I put a photo there. Sorry, I had to say that.
It had a moat.
Yeah, and again, I see these things in pictures, and I'm like, we got to go there. So I saw that in a picture, and I was like, we got to go there, and we went and we took the tour or whatever. But there was what I thought, and I may have added that to the list at this time. The thing that frustrates me about touring places, like touring the Biltmore House, is I just feel like I'm part of a tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I've taken the
You want to sleep over.
the Biltmore tour twice, one time at Christmas. Highly recommend it. I mean, it's amazing. I love.
But taking a tour of something is not a bucket list thing.
Because
Right.
you're walking with all these randos, and you've got like the headphones on, and some dude recorded it a long time ago.
I feel like cattle.
Yeah, I'm being herded through this thing, and it's like there's ropes and there's doors you can't go through. It's like no. This is not what I want. What I want is full access. I want to be here for the night. I want to be able to walk around naked if I please.
Play cards in the smoking room.
I want to be able to experience this castle as if I am the king for a night. And
You can do that at the caverns. I think that's on my bucket list.
you've already been to the caverns.
But you can stay the night down in there.
I'll put it on right now. Put it on there. Stay in hole.
Overnight.
What's
That
the
might-
official name?
Grand Canyon Caverns.
I should probably clarify that. Grand.
Stay in a hole overnight. That will be the last thing on your bucket list that you will be completing forever.
Overnight.
He's typing.
Okay.
There's more on your bucket list. Let's make sure we don't leave anything out.
Go to those huts on the water in Bora Bora.
Well, we're getting close to
We're
that.
gonna get close to that. We can't can't talk about exactly what, because we don't know exactly what the plans are at this point.
But we're working on something like that.
But it's not that specifically.
No,
It's not that.
Mm-mm.
So that's still gonna be on the bucket list.
But we could go there.
We should go there at some point. Again,
We decided not to go there.
you could see French Polynesia,
Okay, yeah.
Which Bora Bora is like South Pacific, like right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
And I've cheated. I've looked at the rest of the things on your list, and they all seem to be like outdoorsy stuff, which is it's interesting that your bucket list kind of gravitates towards like more of a retirement scenario, which is again another argument for the other TBD.
Well, I think almost all of them are
bucket list
are very travel oriented. Like visit.
Be more immediate.
Palau, Palau. They're these amazing rock islands.
What are we gonna do there?
We're gonna kayak the rock islands.
We should kayak off the off Catalina.
Yeah. Yes.
We've talked about that for.
There's freaking caves. Well, not Catalina, but if you go up to the Channel Islands,
other
the
islands.
north, the uninhabited. There's again islands, which is I've talked about before my fascination with them, but there are these islands off the coast of California. Like if you there's Catalina, which has like a community, and you can go there. And I still haven't been there. We lived here for 7 years, still haven't been. You can just take a ferry from Long Beach and be there in a couple hours. And then there are the rest of the Channel Islands that are uninhabited, but there's like outposts, and you can go camping, and there's caves.
Yeah, it's like when you go north to
kayak
like
in the caves.
Santa Barbara, you can see them out there as you're going up.
We gotta get better at organizing these things and not just talking about them, but doing them.
Well, the kids can't come. We can't get we could get the kids in the kayak, but I wanted to do a stand-up paddleboard. I really like that better than a kayak.
Yeah. You can do the stand-up paddleboard as well out there. Because
was that all of your list?
Well, I also added while we were talking, because this is something that's just been in my mental bucket list, silent retreat.
Silent retreat.
Yeah. I used to think people were nuts when they talked about this. I remember we heard that Rivers Cuomo. Incidentally, we have not, I saw a few of you were interacting on Twitter and talking about the beef that we have with Weezer.
Oh.
Not a lot of people interested in that, apparently. But
I can't remember, did we ask for them to be interested specifically?
No. Sometimes you can just gauge interest on things.
Right, it didn't get
passively.
A lot of
There's a few
Twitter conversational traction.
But anyway, Rivers Cuomo, we were told at some point, does like in fact, I think it was when we were trying to do that original thing, they were like, wait, Rivers is going on his month-long silent retreat, which, and again, this is probably being in LA for 7 years. Initially I was like, what? Who? Why? That's the most pretentious thing I've ever heard of. Going off to your freaking silent retreat, loser. Now I'm like, when am I gonna go on my month-long silent retreat?
Month-long?
Well, I don't wanna start with a month. And I don't wanna do a month until, again, this is one of those things that as a father, I don't wanna go away for a month. But I do wanna do a week-long one. And I wanna do a week-long one not into the not too distant future. Because I've heard from anyone who's done these, they're like, you can't just do a weekend. It won't even be worth it. You'll get to the point where you're about to enjoy yourself. You're about to break through to the other side of whatever happens in silence, and then you have to come back home. So go for a week.
Now there's no way I'm invited to this.
No, but listen, I don't know. We could both go and make a lot of eye contact. We could have a lot of Amber and Anna moments. It's like we're silent. We see each other in the cafeteria.
Show our tattoo to each other.
We got to get this bucket tattoo.
I wouldn't want to go totally by myself because I think one of my favorite things about our friendship is that we go through things together and then we can analyze it into the ground afterward. Mm. I think that's probably, that type of conversation that we have always had, I think is maybe the key to the mind meld that I think we experience creatively, or our ability to work well together and to be friends for as long as we have. I'm developing this theory that I do think that, it's like if you really know somebody, you're like, I can finish that person's sandwiches. I know what they're thinking right now. Well, for us, it's not a sixth sense. It's not something magical. We've spent hours and hours, weeks of our lives, when you add it all up, just rehashing shared experiences and then like coming to conclusions about the experience, the people, the things. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
That's the great thing about a a friendship or a partnership or whatever it is. So like for a silent retreat, I wouldn't want to go without somebody being there. It's like whenever I came out, it'd be like, now, was I crazy or was that crazy? Or, you know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree.
I just wanna have someone who can like, cause when you come back and tell me about your silent retreat, I'll be like, man, I'll take your word for it. But it's just like, and I'll get a kick out of it. But that's my bucket list, man. Talking about the shared silent retreat afterward. But like having this tension build for 7 days when you're making eye contact and you're doing thumbs up and you're looking at tattoos of each other, but you can't speak. And then you're like, man, I can't wait till we can talk about this. Like, I don't know what happens at a silent retreat. Maybe nothing.
Well,
there's nothing to talk about except in your own mind, but
I do think that this.
maybe I'm describing a cult
Well,
because of that wild thing you got me watching.
well, here's what. I totally agree with this, the general sentiment
My bucket list is just to be a friend.
of like you want to have a shared experience, and I believe that just like a dream, it's really the recall of the dream that makes the dream worth having. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that you're going to relive a memory, and you're going to revisit. Just science shows that as you revisit something that happened, that you basically write over it and change it a little bit every time. But it's the act of remembering. It's the act of remembering that basically makes the whole event worth living in the first place, right?
Okay.
But, and having somebody to share it with in the way that we talk about, a lot of, Stevie says, nobody remembers their childhood like you guys do. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think one of the reasons that we do have certain details is the fact that we talked about them so many times. You've got somebody to talk about this stuff with. Remember the time? And then you're like, yeah, and this, and you fill in the details, and so you kind of develop this picture of your past.
Mm-hmm.
So that applies. But specifically with a silent retreat, I think, at least for the people that I've talked to, there's like a breakthrough that can happen in that time. And it's more about solitude and like process and like looking inward. And then there's like these levels of consciousness that you can kind of explore. It's a deeper thing. So while you'd want to talk about it, I think it would be distracting to be in the middle of wanting to get to some point, and then it's like we're tapping each other on the shoulder and showing the bucket tattoo and making eye contact. So I think that it probably works for most everything except the silent retreat, because the silent retreat's about
be silent.
It's about you. It's about you as an individual.
Right.
It's about getting to some deeper layer of the onion of yourself that we just haven't gotten to yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, fine. I'm not invited. I get it.
No, no. I'm just saying we should go to different silent retreats or go to a different time, because you're not gonna want to be like, this isn't a kissing Amber and Anna situation. That's for me.
That involved a lot more noise.
That's icebergs and sailing and holes in the ground. That's making out with Amber and Anna.
We got plenty. I do want to add the riding a mule down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I didn't write that down from a couple weeks back, but can you write that down on your list?
Yeah, yeah.
And I've realized the only things that have contributed to the list are things involving a saddle. So I'm wondering, is there something else involving a saddle I can put on my bucket list? It helps me to narrow it down. That's why all my kids their names start with L. They wouldn't be named at all if I was open to the whole alphabet.
Did you have you ever been on one of those bulls at a bar? Fake bulls?
Ooh, that's tough.
So there's a saddle.
That's not passing my pain test. How else do you use a saddle?
You ever eat at the Texas Steakhouse and Saloon?
Yeah, had a good burger there once.
They probably got a saddle on the wall.
When I worked at IBM. I've done it. Been there, done that.
Okay.
I'll keep thinking about it. Is there anything else you want to add to your bucket list before we put the lid on it?
No, I think I'm good right now.
Okay, Ear Biscuiteer. I want to invite you to help us toy with this idea of let's come up with a better, more broadly approachable title to the F bucket list, which is something that is.
How about the suck it list?
It's like, no. That's like an insult.
Yeah.
What did I say? It was like kind of a crazy yet perfectly reasonably attainable idea that can be something we put on a list so that we can start going through these things. So my long-term bucket list is to check off 10 to 20 items from my short-term, reasonably achievable, yet totally odd that you would write that down bucket list.
What's a small bucket? What's another name for a small bucket?
Pale?
Pale?
No.
Pale list, no. That just seems like a list of pale people.
Use hashtag Ear Biscuits.
Come up with a good name.
Yeah, and or you can suggest the types of things. I mean, you can't put things on our list, but you can suggest things. Right now we have a quintuple Whopper, and what was the other one?
Riding a horse at gallop.
Yes, why did I forget that?
Yeah, and I think that's probably, I think that the quintuple Whopper probably doesn't qualify.
We need some more food on it.
Okay.
We're too outdoors oriented. It doesn't really reflect the brand, honestly. We're sitting here indoors in dim lighting, and you're listening to us. Thanks for doing that. You know what? We're gonna speak at you again next week. Chris Clay, thank you for asking the bucket list question. I hope you weren't disappointed that I don't even have one.
Yeah, and next week, Link, I'm gonna have a saddle for you to sit in.
Everywhere.
No, just here.
Oh.
It's a saddle.
I can't take it everywhere.
I
can't go around on like a hobby horse.
I want you to be able to sit in a saddle when you do Ear Biscuits, because I feel like I owe it to you.
Great.
To hear this Ear Biscuit in its entirety and make sure you don't miss an episode, follow the links in the description to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else podcasts are available.
To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch more of our daily show, Good Mythical Morning, click the playlist on the left.
And don't forget to click the circular icon to subscribe.
Thanks for being your mythical best.